friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are going to dive into the archetype reading for the Vision. Look how beautiful that is. All those colors. Now, I actually had a really strange dream a couple weeks ago. It didn't have too much to do with this card, but let me talk about that first. So in this dream that I had, it was an owl perched on like a chain link fence. What was so strange about it is that I seemed to have my cell phone in this, and I was like taking a video of it. So I was like holding it, and I was watching this owl through my phone screen. And what I thought was really strange is that the owl kind of like nipped at both of its sides, and then it took off for flight. So I woke up from this dream, as the owl had like its wings spread out. And when I woke up, I was like, wow, that looks a lot like one of my archetypes. It actually reminded me of the mentor in this book, which I really don't know where it might be, so I might get into that later. So I pulled my archetype book from next to my bed, and when I flipped open, I opened directly into the Vision, which shows two owls on it. And I was like, oh, how interesting. So I read it, and the Vision is the dream, the imagined, and the revealed. It is said that we are each born with a unique vision, a destiny toward which we are aimed. It is also said that we forget this vision the moment we are born. Thus, we are sent on a lifelong journey of rediscovery. Such is the elusive nature of the Vision. It slips away, yet it guides. It appears in strange dreams and surreal images, seemingly unattainable and preposterous. When we are connected to the Vision, we carry an inspired, enchanted aliveness that others recognize. We trust the world and its synchronicities. We walk through new doors into wondrous opportunities. We all want to be near those with vision. They emit energy more potent than any elixir. When we lose connection to the Vision, life becomes dull and exhausting. It lacks meaning. Bring back the mystery. Bring back the dreams. It also says you gauge how connected you are to your Vision by how tired you are. Since the Vision feeds us energy, it affects our life force and vitality. And on the other half, it says, look at art you loved when you were young, listen to old records and poems. These are all ways to activate the Vision. Okay, how beautiful. That's actually so cute. I never read that last bit where it says to look back at like poems and art from when you were young. And what's so interesting is that when I was young, we got like I think it was like a poetry book assignment in like 3rd grade. It was like to make your own poetry book. And you were supposed to choose like a pen name. And I believe that the pen name I chose was Roseblood. I know, I was like a really emo third grader. Don't even think about it. And I think it's so interesting that as I got older, I became very aimed at making potpourri, specifically with roses. And it really did feel like something I was just meant to do, even though it took years to perfect. But wow, how interesting. It does seem I was aimed for my destiny all along. So in order to get into the Vision today, I did write down just a couple points that I want to go over, which is, what is your vision? What are the signs? Obviously, let's look at this card a little bit deeper for some signs here. We have some owls. It looks like we have some hands that are holding themselves. We have a mountain in the background with a moon hanging over it. We've got some trees. You might find yourself wanting to reconnect with nature, or even because this looks like they're looking through a window with these hands that are holding this vision. So you might find yourself like looking out your window quite often at this time. There's also a wax stamp at the bottom, a golden wax stamp. So some of you might be writers or considering writing a letter. Interesting. Alrighty, let's keep going. So outside the signs, we're going to look at a lack or the scarcity mindsets that might be involved with your vision or holding you back from it. We'll look at blockages, we'll look at your environment and community, and then we can also look at what will activate the vision for you. So let's go ahead and just start with a quick animal card here. Oh, we have two. Right out. Perfect. When I do have the turtle, so you might feel like things are slow, you might feel sluggish, maybe even drained lately. We have a starfish coming out, nice and bright. The second one here. Oh, and the deer in reverse. Okay, you're not taking very good care of yourself or nurturing your vision at this time. You might be too focused on public image with this starfish here. These starfish in reverse can often be like petty, vain, superficial, shallow, whereas the deer tends to be actually quite deep and nurturing, and seeing that in reverse tells me you aren't really taking the time to, what are they doing? Replenish? Is that like life source? Your Agni? Your energy. You might feel drained, exhausted, maybe worrying that you need to invest more before you can move forward in this, but I don't actually see that being the case. That seems to be a self-limitation. Now with the starfish, I believe this is a water sign, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces here, and with the deer, this is an earth sign, so Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo being highlighted. Let's get a little bit more information as to what your vision might be with Earth, and with Earth being in reverse. This could be like finances or like day-to-day life is kind of holding you back from being able to dive into this. And with this water energy, it does seem to be a creative venture that you're looking to go towards. Okay. With passion being highlighted in reverse here. I love that there is a rose on it. And then we also have water being highlighted upright. Oh, you might be getting some news about this, or you might have like a moment of epiphany about what it is that you would like to do, because it does look like your day-to-day life currently it doesn't feel stable. And I mean that in the sense of like emotion. It might be paying your bills, but I don't think that it fulfills you, whatever you're currently doing. I think that you're kind of looking outside of it, looking for what you would want to do. We do have friendship in the middle of the deck in reverse. So again, there is this sense of like worrying about what other people might think of you if you choose to go down this route. We have the woman's wish in reverse. You might be acting against, maybe you're drained because you weren't going towards what you would like to do. Interesting. I want to get just a couple more. I'd like to start with my Chakra Oracle deck. You know what? No, that doesn't feel right at all. Let me move this. I think, let me just look. Yeah, we do have insecurity. So again, it's like worrying about what other people might think if you choose to go down a path that you are interested in. Or honestly, it might be like if you take a trip or travel towards something that you would want to do. Okay, stop it. Be nice. Thank you. Let's just get a couple more. All right, thank you. I did say a couple and we got two. On the back of the deck, I have Soul Family. Call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. This is coming out in reverse. So what I'm picking up from that is that you might actually be surrounded by people who want you to stay in the same position that they are in, where, you know, like I love my father, right? I love him to death, but my dad is someone who's done factory work his whole life because he didn't really have the opportunities to be able to go to college or to expand in his career. It wasn't until like last year that he actually got a manager position, still within a factory, but you know, that was a huge upgrade for him that previously wasn't available because he's like partially deaf. So, oh, and that might be part of it, is like the people around you might not be hearing you correctly, or hearing the passion in what you want to do, or hearing that you want to walk away. So for these cards, we have a leap. You go first and the universe will catch you. We've got that moon being highlighted again. So I feel like your actual passion, the thing that you want to go towards, it might be a secret. It might be something that you're not really ready to share or open up about. Maybe you're still kind of discovering it internally on what it is that you want to do. We also have Keepers of the Earth. You are not alone. Your ancestors are beside you. So, and there's a moon there as well. There are so many moons being highlighted because we had the moon being highlighted in water as well. So you might be receiving a message about this. And it might be something that you want to keep secret. This almost gives me the sense of like maybe a college that you want to go to, for example, or what you would like to study in that college might go against the wishes of like family or even friends. You know, maybe all your friends are going to community college and you want to go to another state for a university, or maybe you want to study something that is, what am I seeing? I have no idea what this movie is from. might be a TV show. It's about a woman who, she becomes like a stand-up comedian after her husband cheats on her. And like the mistress confronts her, but she talks to her father after she gets a job. And this is like way back in the day. So it wasn't typical for women to have jobs. And the father is like, you know that you're gonna have to go every day, right? And she's like, yeah, that's usually what happens with a job. And he's like, you know what, I told you not to study Russian literature in college. And she's like, yeah, well, that's what I chose. And he was like, you know that you're gonna have to type a lot. And she's like, no, I don't have to do that. As like a stand-up comedian, I don't have to do that. It's fine. So again, there might be people around you who are kind of like questioning your path for you, and it might be seeping some doubt in that you should question it. But I am seeing that like you do feel incredibly pulled toward this, to a point where, again, you might want to keep it a secret if you've got like an interview, if you know you're traveling for it. Maybe you're praying a lot about it working out for you, or it being like a smooth transition where you don't have to like fight with others in regards to it. There's so much about secrets here. It does give me the sense that you're trying to keep this on like the down low. I remember, this was like a year or two ago. I was talking to a new friend of mine, and I was kind of drunk at the time. And I remember telling them like, I have a secret. Can I share it with you? And they were like, yeah, sure. What is it? And I was like, I think I want to start a business, and I think I want to like sell potpourri and like other spiritual items. And they were super supportive of me. They actually made it so easy to open up to them. And I look back now and I'm like, wow, like I can't believe I really wanted to keep that all a secret. But I knew exactly how like my friends and my family would like look at me. They'd look at me like I was, you know, crazy if I had just been so confident about it. And it did take time for me to kind of build up my confidence in that arena and feel comfortable, you know, expressing it and opening it up about it. But then once I kind of got into like the groove of it, I remember that my uncle had come by like 6 or so months ago, and as loving uncles always do, he was asking me like, well, you know, what are you doing for work? What's gonna happen? And I told him, I was like, well, you know, I want to sell potpourri, like I started my own Etsy, like, and he was like, well, what's your plan with it? And I don't know, I looked at him and I was like, how about you just trust me to handle my stuff, and I'll trust you to handle your stuff, and that way we don't feel the stress of responsibility for each other. We can just trust each other to get it done and support each other in getting it done. And that same uncle actually started his own business this year, and he's doing amazing, and I'm super proud of him. And obviously, you know, I keep doing my stuff, and I'm building it as much as I can, so it is kind of that energy of like, have a little bit more faith in yourself. And when other people are questioning you about it, it's really not their business. You can, if you don't feel comfortable taking on their opinion, just straight up ask them to trust you that you got this and to leave it alone until then. It's kind of like I have aunts and uncles who are always like, oh, when are you gonna get married? You know, when are you gonna have kids? And while that's not exactly in like the plan for me right now, I always tell them like, oh, you know, like it'll come when it comes. Like I'm not trying to rush it. And I don't really give them space or room to argue with me about it. And when they do try to argue with me about it, I just flat out tell them like, hey, it's not your business. And I let that just sit in the air. I don't even try to like justify it. I'm like, that's really not your business, and I don't feel comfortable talking about it with you if you're gonna judge me for it. Okay, let's keep going. So that is kind of the energy. I feel like you're in those beginning stages of like, there is this thing that I want to do. I'm a little bit afraid of how it might turn out, that maybe it'll fail. Maybe, you know, people have these opinions about it, but I really can't hold myself back from wanting to do it anyways. Let's get a couple more. Yeah, we have completion. And look at her. She's kind of grieving there as two spiritual figures hang above. That could be like ancestors watching you kind of, you know, grieve this old path of life that you're walking away from that I feel like doesn't fulfill you. It's almost like the sun is setting on an old chapter in your life. But I also feel like that chapter was necessary to prepare you. We have confusion. I know, that's not really showing up well on the camera. Confusion being highlighted here. Once again, there's someone like whispering into his ear. So I feel like despite the fact that you're kind of going through this, like a tug, like a back and forth tug, on what you should do, how you should do it, if you should even do it. I do get the sense that you are being guided through this and pushed through this in like the proper direction. So don't let your confusion overwhelm you. Let's just get one more from this deck. Yeah, follow your instincts. We did have Leap here, and Keepers of the Earth. So I feel like you are going to follow your instincts in this. Discovery in reverse on the back of the deck. So I get a sense that this isn't like you have to go searching for it. I think you know exactly what it is that you want to do. Okay. Yeah, let's go with this deck. Oh, okay. We have Laid Up, Cuddle Session, Intimate, Escaping the World Together. Yeah, so for some of you, this might be like a partnership. There might be someone that you want to go towards that isn't your like usual type. And maybe you're afraid of what other people will think about if they are to see you two together. This could especially be like if you have children, you know, when you're separated from your partner, you might be wondering like what other people will say if like you move on too quickly or if you take on another partner. Yeah, we have In the Fog, right? Oh no, we have Heart Fog, which is mixed emotions, unclear feelings, wishy-washy. That's that like back and forth energy that I was feeling. And it's coming up right underneath confusion. In fact, this is going to be for some, not all. We have completion and Laid Up right under that. So you might have just recently ended a relationship. That's going to be for some, not all. This might have been someone who held you back from your dreams or goals, or demeaned or devalued what they were, but I see you trudging along anyways and following your instincts here, kind of brushing past the opinions of others. Let's just get one more. Okay. And did one just flip? No? Okay. What's on the back here? We have On Blast, outing personal info, being called out, public humiliation. Again, I feel like there is just such a big fear of, well, what will people think? Nothing special. They're not going to think anything special. They're not going to think anything that you haven't thought about 500 times. So get over it, I guess. Like, that's really my only advice. We have My Boo, New Love, Learning Each Other's, and Flirtations. So again, for some of you, this might be a relationship. For others of you, this could be like a new job. Yeah, I do feel like you're holding yourself back. Maybe because other people have held you back and you've allowed their opinions and their distaste of whatever it is that you are looking forward to doing to override your own opinions. And I wholeheartedly like disagree with that mindset. That's kind of where we're getting into this this lack and scarcity mindset of like, well, if I do this, will I be alone? If I do this, yeah, there is a lot here about being alone. If I do this, will I see like, you know, the true colors of other people? You know, if I make this leap, will I only have myself to rely on? And there is even a sense of like, well, who will feed me? And I don't think that's in the sense of like eating food, although it very much could be. It also might be in the sense of like, well, who will nurture, you know, my heart and my soul in this situation as I move towards this? Like, can I expect it to be this new person? You know, will they actually like hype me and my ideas up the way that I'm hoping that a partner would? Or are they going to be like someone from my past who had all these, you know, negative opinions and who was trying to hold me back? In fact, this reminds me of when I broke up with my ex. This was years ago. When I broke up with him, he told me he would devalue me a lot in the relationship. Like he would tell me like, oh, you're too dumb to do this. You know, you're too flighty to do this. You're too inconsistent to do this. And I remember after I broke up with him, he apologized to me for it. And he was like, I had to tell you those things so you wouldn't leave me, because you have so much potential and you have like such a like beautiful future ahead of you. that like if I let you take a step towards it, you would realize that I was like a ball and chain on your ankle. And while he was 100% right that he was a ball and chain on my ankle at the time, the only reason he was a ball and chain on my ankle was because he treated me like that, because he devalued me so much. Like, that was absolutely a future we could have rode in together with, but he was not able to accept that by any means. And while I'm grateful now to have like let him and his opinions go, I do look back on it and I'm always like, that was abuse. That was totally abuse, and that was not okay, and I'll never accept that again. So I'm really grateful, you know, that he took accountability for it and like admitted it, but I'm also really grateful that I got out of it. Okay, I'm kind of running up the time here. So to go over like what's your vision, it does look like it's to move forward. It looks like it's to move into like a new chapter of your life, one that can actually be really beautiful here, one that you may have hung up, fixated on the back of the deck. Something that you've been looking forward to a lot, but other people's opinions are kind of getting in the way here, and that's where that lack and scarcity mindset is coming in, is where you might be worried that you're going to be alone through this, or that, you know, it's going to be like The Climb by Miley Cyrus, where it's going to be like a fight, or it's going to be some like treacherous climb in order to make it happen, and then you're going to have to do it all alone. It's like, it's all these fears of suffering, but I feel as if you actually kind of, in allowing these fears to kind of overtake, you become the abuser. You become the person like holding yourself back. I very much find that people who are like constantly, for lack of a better word, crapping on themselves about their own hopes and dreams, they do have this like fear energy in reverse, where it's like they aren't able to nurture themselves, or at least they're unwilling to. And it's always a shallow mindset, because if you were to think about it in layers, if you were to think about like, okay, well, what's underneath the fear of other people judging me? Well, it's probably people pleasing. And then, you know, you could go through the routine of like healing the people pleasing aspects of yourself and learning not to do that, and this wouldn't be as scary. Or, you know, maybe it's like, well, you know, I'm scared that I'm gonna have to do this alone. Well, what's underneath that? Like, it's likely that, you know, abandonment issues, or, you know, a need for support, a need for attention, etc. So it's about like deconstructing these things as well once they come up. And it doesn't have to be that deep. You can easily do it and then move forward. It's gonna be a process that takes a while, and that's okay. So given that the vision is all about dreams, I'm gonna go ahead and use my dream deck here. Let's just get a little bit of tarot. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's actually really beautiful. I'm just going to steal the first one. Okay, actually, hold on. Hold on. This came out all in a pile, and it's actually really accurate. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. I have the Three of Cups upright. I have the Five of Wands upright. I have the Three of Swords upright. I'll show these as I go, but I'm trying to shuffle out the whole thing. We have the Palace of Swords upright. We have the Six of Swords in reverse. I have the Nine of Coins upright. I have the Seven of Coins upright. And I have the Six of Cups in reverse. On the back, okay, we have Death in reverse as well. That is kind of that sense of like holding yourself back from a new chapter, a new beginning, because it feels unfamiliar. And this is almost giving like a the devil you know energy. Like it's better to stay in the same crummy situation and, you know, cope with it and deal with it even if it's not fulfilling, rather than, you know, entering headfirst into a new one, which is understandable, albeit to me very silly. But that's okay. Let's get into this. So the first thing that I'm seeing is the Three of Cups upright. Look at that, celebration, and all the masks are off at this point. There's two masks in this, so again, there might be a worry about like what other people might think, what maybe a partner might think, or wanting, you know, a partner in order to move forward and do this, but you feel as if you'd have to start, like build it and they will come type of energy. Now with this Three of Cups, it's all about celebration to me with it being upright. So I actually do see you with my Five of Wands right next to it, overcoming. This is a guy who's literally fighting 4 other versions of himself. So I do see this like coming out in your favor. I see you being able to override your fears or your doubts in this situation. What are the signs involved? We have Cancer and Leo being highlighted. We have my Three of Swords here. So there is this, and I think that's what this internal monologue is about, this Five of Wands. It's like this fear that it's not going to work out, that you'll end up heartbroken, that you might, if this is like a relationship, or even if this is an idea, that there's a sense or fear that you're going to find yourself trapped again. I like that. I'm looking at like the necklace around her neck, because it almost reminds me of my Eight of Swords in this deck, which usually shows a woman who is like bound and gagged and like unable to speak up. And so I do kind of get the sense that, you know, maybe your lifestyle right now is, it's tolerable. It's, I wouldn't say easy, but I feel like you've been in it for a while. Yeah, with my Palace of Swords next to that. So, like, it's something that you can work with, but I don't think that this is very fulfilling to you. But I think that the fears of things not working out, or even walking away from it, we have Libra being highlighted, or even walking away from it might be too great at this time. But I see you getting over this, kind of fighting your back on it. We have my Palace of Swords here. And I typically think of the swords in this deck as like strategic, calculating, but I feel like you've actually put in quite a lot of work to be where you're at right now. And this reminds me of when I was in law school. You know, I kept going back to law school. I dropped out like 4 different times. I spent like 20 grand going back and dropping out. Because it took a lot of work and effort to get there, but then every time I did it, I was like, this is horrible, and I don't want to do this forever. I don't even want to do this for one more day. But it was like my own self-guilt kind of dragged me back by my throat every single time. Like, yanked my chain back until I reapplied and, you know, went back. So it's, again, it's like the devil you know energy, where it's like, this is miserable, but like I want to see it through. This is tolerable enough for me to stay. I'm hearing what misery is wasted on the miserable type of energy. So you might be surrounded by a bunch of people who are really miserable and complacent in the things that they're doing, and expect you to be as well, or expect you never to change. This whole reading really gives me the sense of like things are just so, like, what is it? Routine? Hamster wheel? It's like you're going around a hamster wheel here. We have my Six of Swords in reverse. This could be about travel, so you might be actually like quite frightened to take that leap, to leave, to be alone, to do things without, you know, support. But I'm also getting the sense that like you're kind of off your path, and you might be feeling this. We have Aquarius energy being highlighted within this card. So I feel like you know that like whatever this hamster wheel that you're in right now, this like rigmarole, whatever it is, you know that it's not right for you. You know that it doesn't feel right at all. Even though the heartbreak would be a lot to deal with, and your fears and doubts are kind of holding you back, or even the opinions of others, I feel like one way or another, eventually you are going to find yourself back on the right path here. We have my Nine of Coins. It's about what you deserve. It is about finding what you deserve, going towards what you would deserve. And I actually, look, we've got the dove above her, and then we've got a dove in her hand. So I actually feel as if Spirit is trying to guide you there, push you there. We have Taurus being highlighted with my Seven of Coins here. This is all about like reaping what you've sown. I feel like if you can just understand that like the things that you are deserving of, the things that you want, and you can go towards them and screw other people's opinions. This is not their life. They do not have to live it. They don't have to wear your shoes every day. If you're able to just kind of come to terms with that, I feel like this would actually be, it'd be either like a really beautiful relationship, or I just heard this could be like an age gap relationship. So you might be talking to someone who's like quite a bit older than you, and that might be a fear of you, or like maybe quite a bit younger than you, and that might be a fear. But I do feel that like the love here is really strong, or at least if this is like an endeavor, the passion in it will pay off. Absolutely, with that Seven of Pentacles there. But it has to be like slow, grounded work. You'd have to go through it like step by step, and it would take time, but it would be worth it. And I feel like even though it would take time, it's almost like, what is it? Like, you never work a day in your life when you do something that you love. honestly, I do these tarot readings. I haven't even noticed it's already been 30 minutes. But I enjoy doing it so much that, like, the time just flies by for me. I barely even notice it. To end the tarot, we have the Six of Cups in reverse. So I feel like, don't get mad at me, yeah. I feel like a lot of the things that are holding me back, the thoughts here, or even like the fears and doubts, they're kind of like replayed old habits. And at what point do you just stop yourself and be like, you know, this worked for me when I was younger. This did work for me. It made, you know, my social situation tolerable to like hide these parts of me, or to keep it a secret, or, you know, to be complacent. That worked for me in the past, but now it's not working for me, and I need to change, and I deserve to change, and I deserve to have these beautiful things in my life, and I deserve to have a success in the areas that I want to succeed in. We have with my Six of Cups, there's almost like this outdated thinking that's almost kind of like childish. You might feel like you need to be guided or instructed in order to like make the changes that you'd need. But I'm actually kind of getting the sense that like you have everything that you would need at your disposal to make that list yourself, to give yourself instructions. Now, I'm very much that type of person. I'm a very type A type of person. So when I want to get things done, I will like break it down step by step for myself and write it down, and then just check it off as I go, because I can't do things without a plan. Now that's just me. But yeah, if you're waiting for the instruction to come along, stop waiting. Give yourself the instructions. Write it out yourself. Figure it out. You got this, like genuinely. Now I do see quite a bit of justice coming your way. In the middle of the deck, we have justice being highlighted. And with temperance in reverse, I feel like this is long overdue. But yeah, the paranoia in this situation has kind of been holding you back with my Nine of Swords. Yeah, it's like a lack of faith in yourself. It's all these doubts kind of piling up over your head, but I do see justice kind of coming in here and changing that for you. And then on the back of the deck, we have, look at this. We have the Empress and the Emperor coming out. So I do feel like once you start doing this, a partner will inevitably come along to assist you. With my Two of Coins here, yeah, it's like you just have to make the decision. You just have to choose yourself. I have his little tushy covered, but you just have to make the decision. You just have to choose yourself in this situation. Again, it comes back to the sense of like, build it and they'll come. But Rome wasn't built in a day, so, you know, don't be afraid to take things step by step. Don't be afraid to take the time to get it done. Don't be afraid to, like, I'm not saying like quit your job tomorrow and move across country for something, but what I am kind of saying is like, don't let these fears prevent you from it. It's just one step a day. If you can handle, I actually did this. I've always been very type A, but I really struggled before I started doing these readings, and I've mentioned this on this channel many times before. I reached out to my aunt and I was like, you know, I'm watching you like build and put together this like house renovation, and it's amazing to me. I really struggle to reach my goals. I really do, because I've never been taught how to achieve a goal. Everyone around me has always been so complacent. They've never really had any dreams or goals or visions that they've acted on. And I asked my aunt, I was like, can you please teach me how to achieve a goal, or, you know, how to at least make it manageable so I can get it done? And she told me to make like a big list, a medium list, and a small list. And then, you know, our big list is like all of our surface goals of like, you know, I want to start a YouTube channel. And then the medium list is like, okay, well, I need to have an email for it. I need to have a phone number for it. I need to have a profile picture for it. I need to have like a bio for it. And then the small items are like, okay, let's use the email and create a password for it and then log in. And now like, let's make videos for it and start posting those. Let's do the verification process. It's like all the tiny little details that eventually add up to like, wow, now I have a full-blown channel with videos on it and subscribers. Like that was for me, you know? And actually just recently I hit one of my goals, one of my big goals that I made like a year ago, which was just to surpass 100 YouTube subscribers. So thank you guys. Thank you all for joining me. It makes me so happy. But I remember I had to like ask her about it, and she laid it out for me so easily. And I've thanked her repeatedly since then, where I've gone back and been like, hey, thank you so much for teaching me this, because I use it every day. I use it all the time. And it's made my life so much more manageable, and it's really helped me towards my dreams and my goals, and I'm so much happier now because of, you know, that little bit of support that you gave me, even though it wasn't like, yeah, go do this. It was just like, okay, well, she doesn't really care that I do tarot, but she was very much like, this is just how you achieve a goal. But that tiny amount of support that she gave me of just teaching me how to, you know, achieve a goal for myself changed everything for me. So yeah, maybe there is someone that you need to, maybe that's the blockage, is that you're keeping it a secret. So then maybe there is someone that you need to reach out to. Maybe it could be like this, a team. It could be like a divine masculine or feminine, maybe like a partnership. That would really help you achieve this goal. If this is for a relationship, this might be, you know, asking someone who's already in a really healthy relationship or has a relationship that you would like to, that you would be happy being in, not in their relationship, but you would be happy having something of that sorts. Maybe asking them, you know, like, well, what do you do to keep your wife happy? Or, you know, how do you deal with conflict with your husband? Things like that. Just asking little things that I think would put you on the right path, or at least push you toward, like, help you make the steps that you're looking to make. This is actually really beautiful. Like, I do feel like you have a really beautiful vision, and it's only your own fear, it's only like your own mental fears that are holding you back from it, from quite a beautiful future, actually. Let me just, I thought so. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I'm sorry. If you were curious if it was going to pay off, we've got abundance here. This will pay off 100-fold. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. I thought so. I was looking for that. And I think that there needs to be a message of forgiveness on the back of the deck. I do think that there needs to be a moment where you kind of forgive yourself for not taking this leap further or sooner, or maybe it is further. Maybe not taking an idea further. Maybe you like started and stopped it. But I am getting more the sense of like taking it sooner, doing it sooner, really investing in yourself sooner and your ideas. Now we were talking about community and environment here quite a lot, about other people's opinions, and there is something that I had highlighted in my little structure list here of the word community. Now when we look at the word community, you know, it's COMM, and then what I underlined in it is the word unity. It's that there are people, we did have Soul Tribe come up too. If the people around you aren't able to support you, aren't able to like hold you in high self-esteem, aren't able to at the very least be accepting of who you are and what you want to do, that is not your community. It is okay to leave. All right, let me just get that out there. Okay, where do I want to go next? We're kind of running up the time here, so I think I'm just going to grab some self-care. And actually, given that there's so many ancestor cards here, I want to grab some angel cards. So just one or two, and then we'll get self-care, and then I think I'll let you guys go. We have no being highlighted quite loudly here. Let me ask why. No, within the next few weeks, maybe you're wondering, oh, this could be like, I just started half-cocked. Like, whatever the idea is that you want to do, you're kind of like, rushing in like a fool? Or maybe you need a plan or something organized before you do this. I actually kind of get the sense that this no is in regards to keeping a secret. But let's just, okay, fine, I'll use you. Sorry, I just rammed my whole arm into this deck. All right, let's look at it. What's this no about? I have two. We have my Six of Pentacles in reverse. We have my Magician upright. We have my Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. I have my Five of Wands, which is that, again, inner conflict energy. And then we have my Queen of Cups, which to me is all about passion and self-nurturance. A very motherly energy. Now, with my Six of Pentacles, I always think of this as like an unfair relationship, maybe even an abusive relationship. And this could be with someone who's highly controlling. So, you know, if there's someone's opinion that you are, or there's someone that you're going to for advice where every time that you go to them, it's kind of like they shoot you down or they're never really on your side. I've had so many people like this in my life, and I have cut them all out, where every single time I went to them with like a joke, an idea, something that I wanted to do, something that I was interested in, or I just wanted to talk to them about, you know, something that I was thinking about. Like, I had this one friend, I'm not gonna name them. I remember I intentionally never spoke to them about religion, ever, because they were just such an ass every time that I brought it up. They'd be like, that's stupid, this is stupid, and I'd be like, okay. And then so slowly over time, I was like, I'm just not gonna bring up religion to you at all. And I remember the reason that I cut them out was I talked to them about this like religious theory that I had, and they just like went off on me, and it kind of clicked in my head. I was like, oh, you're not my friend at all. Like, you actually like hate talking to me. You hate this part of me so much that you were absolutely willing to devalue me and make me feel bad about it every time I talk to you about it. If I can't be honest with you about my interests, about who I am, because I'm scared you're going to be mean to me about it, every single time there's never an ounce of support, an ounce of, you know, any kind of niceties, pleasantries coming to you. Like, you can't even fake how much you dislike me. You can't even fake it for a second. You can't be happy for me or indulge me or humor me at a minimum for 1 second. You're not my friend. I have not spoken to them since we had that conversation, and I've never been happier. I'm so glad I cut them out. But then, like, they got super mad at me about it. They were like, wow, so you're just never going to talk to me again? It's like, yeah, yeah, because there's nothing you could say that is of any value to me. And that's exactly how you view me. So let me just give your energy back to you and go our separate ways. And they're still mad at me about it, but who cares? You know, they'd be mad at me about anything I did. So why should I give them a second, a moment of my time or my energy? Then we have my magician. So again, it's like very controlling. Like, that friend of mine controlled everything that we talked about because it always had to be on their terms what we talked about. And if I brought anything up that was of my interest, it was immediately shot down, devalued, and degraded. Then we have my Page of Pentacles in reverse. So this kind of gives me the sense of someone who, they might tell you that it's not valuable, it's not worth it. This again kind of reminds me of that friend where it's like, for me, like, I am incredibly religious. I really love God. I really love religious theory and theology. I love diving into it. I love getting those external perspectives. But they don't value religion at all. They see it as, like, stupid that I would even think about it. In fact, they're like, if I even bring up God, they're like, well, he's not real, so, and if he is, he's terrible, so fuck you and fuck them. And I'm like, okay, go off, King. But, like, and I remember him telling me, like, oh, well, it's not like you could ever do anything in the church. Like, you could never be, like, a bishop or anything. And I was like, well, that's not my interest in it. My interest isn't to have, like, power or a position of power or to be paid for it. My interest is purely intelligent. Like, it's purely theoretical. Like, I just enjoy reading about it and thinking about it and meeting with other people who have that interest. So it doesn't need to have this, like, Page of Pentacles energy where, like, it's going to bring me some kind of, you know, fame or fortune. It doesn't need to be like that. I just like it, and I'm allowed to just like it, and I'm allowed to talk about it if I like it. And if you really can't handle that, then we probably shouldn't talk at all, you know? It's not that hard. I have plenty of friends where they do things that I'm not interested at all. In fact, I have friends where I think what they're doing is actively stupid, and I don't berate them for it because I'm like, you know, let them have it. Let them be happy about it. Like, for me personally, I've dated a handful of, like, gamers, for example, and I think playing video games is, there can be, I think it can get really toxic. I think it can get really unhealthy if it's being used as, like, a coping mechanism. But I have plenty of friends that game, and I've never once been like, oh, you're terrible for that. No, not once. I'm always just like, good, I'm glad that you found something that makes you happy. It's not my interest. I'll never do it, but okay. Like, I'm glad that you're passionate about it and that you're happy about it. Like, tell me all about the game that you're playing. I'll never play it. In fact, I have no interest in it, but I'm so glad that you found something that makes you happy. And that's the whole point. So again, there is this big no. I feel like there is a real need from your guides and ancestors to, like, draw a thick line in the sand with the people who do not support you. And the moment that they try to cross that line to, like, berate you or devalue you, Gotta get off the beach, buddy. Sorry. Haters are not allowed. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me get some self-care, and then I'll grab charms, and then we can be done. I'll stop taking all your time, because I was like, oh, I'm taking too much time, and then I took extra time. So, my bad. You guys know me. I can yap. And you know what? Sometimes I get sad about it. I see a lot of readers that do like, 10, 15-minute reads. And I'm like, I wish I could do that. I can't. I'm yapping. Are you kidding me? And I enjoy it. I like yapping. I like being who I am on my own channel. I'm not here to like copy and paste someone else's aesthetic or the way that they do things. We have create art on the back of the deck here. So again, I mentioned this in the very beginning with the starfish, that water energy. I feel like whatever it is, it's emotional, it's creative, and I think it's worthwhile. I think it'll bring you a lot of abundance, a lot of satisfaction, a lot of personal fulfillment. We have clear your energy field. Like I said, draw that thick line in the sand and kick out the haters. And then we also have a burning bowl ritual. This is so much about cleansing. Yeah, I feel like there are people around you, because again, it's coming back to that, I'm seeing that the word community, it's like coming back to that unity again of like, if there are people who cannot find themselves to be supportive of you in any aspect, you need to let them go. It might hurt, because I was friends with that person for like, I think 9 or 10 years, but not once in 10 years had they ever been nice to me. So when I finally let them go, it was like a weight off of my shoulders rather than me being sad or even grieving it. It was more that I was grieving who I wanted them to be for me and the fact that I wanted them to be able to stay in my life than I was actually grieving the type of friend that they were to me. Okay, I'm gonna grab a quick song for you. I've got one in mind. It's Haters Anthem, but I'm not sure if it's gonna come out. Oh my goodness. Okay. We have that Don't Impress Me Much by Shania Twain. So maybe that's what you're worried about, is like maybe you have these really high standards for yourself and what you could be doing. Or maybe you have really high standards for a relationship and you're worried that if you were like make a leap towards this person, they wouldn't be able to meet them. We also have Creep by Radiohead, which is all about rejection. So that could be another thing. On the back of Creep, it says, I wish I was special. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. I don't belong here. So again, I feel like there's this like secretive side to you that you feel like would be rejected, or you feel like it's like the outcast or the black sheep. And I'm getting the sense that it's not as bad as you think it is. Like, you deserve to engage with it and to enjoy the fact that that's part of who you are, My second one is It's Only Sex by Car Seat Headrest. This is about anxiety with intimacy, but I would even go as far as to say like this is more like anxiety with your own wants and desires rather than like the cookie cutter template that other people have laid out for you. On the back it says, I can't tell you if I like it. My flesh yields no pleasure. My body constantly betrays me. And I'm getting less the sense of like my body and more it's like, because I'm seeing like a crowd of people. So it could be like a community again. It's like it almost feels like people voting what you should do instead of you making those decisions for yourself. It kind of reminds me how like in, no, I'm a white person, so I might be way off on this, but in like certain, I think Asian cultures or even Indian cultures, there's an expectation to be like a lawyer or a doctor, but like you want to be a comedian, for example, and maybe that'll disappoint your family. I have a handful of other channels that I subscribe to on here that are from those cultures where they're like, oh, my older sister's a doctor, and then my other older sister is is like a lawyer, and I'm a YouTuber with my partner. And my parents were super disappointed until they saw like, the paycheck that comes in from it, and now they're like, oh, let me get in all the videos if that'll help. So I get the sense like even if you do it alone, or even if you feel like other people are going to judge you, just wait until they can see the results. And then let the results speak for themselves. I think you'd be surprised at how much support you actually get out of it. And then on the back, on the very last card that I pulled is Today by Smashing Pumpkins, which is actually my depression card. So I actually feel like, and it's a suicidal ideation card, so I actually feel as if it's like not acting on this portion or this aspect of yourself is like slowly killing you. On the back it says, tomorrow is much too long. I might not have that long. And then it says, I tried so hard to cleanse these regrets. And there is that, again, we had those self-care cards of cleansing. So I feel like, yeah, you might kick people out of your life and then feel quite guilty or bad about it, but I don't think you should. Obviously, that's a process that, you know, it's going to be individual, and you're going to have to go through it the way that, and feel it the way that you need to feel it, but I support you in your decisions, so I hope that helps. I hope that's enough. Yeah, I do feel as if there'll be a little bit of a grieving process, but I think in the end it'll be worthwhile for you. I actually feel as if not going towards the things that you want is more likely to kill you than, like, internally. It's more likely to, like, dim your light than, running towards it. Okay. All right, yeah. I'm going to grab an angel number here. We have 1251. 1251, angel number meaning. You can type that into your browser. We have Leo coming out again. That is all about ego, because Leo rules the sun. The sun is all about ego. And then we have, I think this is Saturn coming out with a trine there. And like with a, it's not a trine, it's a, that doesn't matter. Let me go ahead and grab some charms. Just a little bit. Okay, we actually didn't get too many, so that's nice. Good, because I'm really running up the time here now. All right, so we have the Hierophant, the Knight of Cups, both in reverse. Looks like I have 2 affirmations. The Fortune, ooh, the Fortune says, a tempting proposal will soon present itself. So again, I think if you were to just like take one step in this direction, and actually I heard this from a mass sermon or something, where they were like, you know, we worship a God where if you take a step towards him, he will run towards you. And that's kind of this energy, is like the universe has been waiting for you to just take one step towards it so it can rush in all this, everything that you would need in order to go down that path. We have Cancer being highlighted, the sign Cancer. For initials, it looks like we have A and D. So for A, Amy, Alex, Alexis, Alessandra, Alice, Aaron, Ashley, Ashton, Adam, Allison, Ace, Austin, Anna, Anna, Alicia. And then for D, we have Deborah, Dennis, Denny, Dolores, Danny, Daniel, Daniela, Danielle, Dan, Dave, Darren, Destiny, Desiree. All right. Oh, this is so cute. I have a little mountain pin that came out with it. And I only think that that's so darn cute because in the original card, yeah, I was hearing The Climb by Miley Cyrus too, which is like, what does she say? She's like, there's always going to be another mountain that I want to move. Yeah, we've got that mountain in this card. How interesting. How interesting. For the other charm, we have this little flower. So I do feel like things might look a little bit dark right now, but I feel like if you were to just take a step towards it, if you were to just flip your mindset, you'd see how golden everything is. Okay, and then we have the Hierophant and the Knight of Cups, both in reverse. So I feel like you are kind of, you might be too worried about the past, present, and future to really make a move right now. You might actually be a bit paralyzed by everything going around. There is a need to stop, catastrophizing? To stop assuming the worst in every situation or even of other people. Like, you might be surprised. Yeah, it kind of comes back to that. There's like this YouTuber that I follow. It's like, I think she's Filipino and her boyfriend is German. And they make videos together. And she had talked one time about how like her parents, you know, really weren't supportive of her doing YouTube until they saw the paycheck. And now her mom's like constantly in the videos, or at least like helping with the videos because, you know, she's now supportive, now seeing, again, it's that abundance that came with it. The results, like the fruits of her labor. For the affirmations, we have you are magical. And we also have peace and love. All right, well, that's what I'm seeing for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. And I make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.